Start streaming, start recording. Alright. So, we are now live. Let me go ahead and copy the stream to Discord. Welcome everybody to another exciting week of Siski 1, Spring 2021 season. Post the link into Discord. There you go. And we are going to continue our discussion of programming today. So, on scratch.mit.edu, you should see that there is now a studio set up for you. Let me know if you don't, because I don't know if I have the ability to view things as you. I haven't seen it. So I have created a studio for you guys that should be called Storybook. And you'll have a picture of I think that's an Asahina Shugenja summoning a hurricane, which is a bit out of character for an Asahina. If you guys know Elphaba at all, but whatever. Let me know if you can see Storybook. So when you guys go to scratch.mit.edu, log in, and then see if you can locate this. And if you can't, let me know. You can see it? Okay, excellent. So when I made it, I actually created two of them. So I deleted one of them, but I was a little bit afraid that it would delete both of them because I clicked create once and I don't know, who knows. Okay. Two duplicates. And also I'm getting these class alerts, and I'm not really sure what is going on with this. It's saying I was notified by a Scratch administrator in notification type blacklisted email. I have no idea what is going on with this. So, I need a link to the class or the group to Scratch. What do you mean? On Canvas, there's right here. Under first steps, you guys should have done these three things all at the beginning of the semester, right? Purchase the Zybooks textbook, join Discord, which those of you that are technically in Discord have done, and then join my Scratch class here. And so if you've done that, then you should be part of my class, and then you should be able to see this. Although I have no idea what's going on with that. So a lot of blacklisted emails, and I don't know why. Maybe they just don't like Fresno State or something. You're too old to do Scratch. No, I don't think so. I've done Scratch before. I don't know. Got me. So, so Garcia, Kiji, Tao, were you guys able to click through on that link? It's a warning that you don't own this email. It's weird. Okay. I don't know. But if as long, I mean, you guys can still use it, right? So, are you guys able to still like do the stuff on Scratch? That's all that really matters. For now, yeah, great. I might have to mail the Scratch people then. Try and figure it out. Okay, so what we're going to be doing this is your first programming assignment, and you are going to make a storybook. So, have you guys gone to Storyland here in Fresno? You guys ever been to this place? It's over by the zoo. You're going to make a storybook. Currently closed. So unfortunate. Kind of makes sense though. So Storyland has a little miniature train, and they got a bunch of like you walk around, and there's different areas for like kids to play and stuff like that. I was actually thinking about working with them because they have these like little exhibits where you like press a button and it like does a little. It plays a recording of like a little story or something like that. So it's kind of a fun thing for like young kids to do and stuff like that. So I was actually thinking about, offering to have my fourth semester computer science students make some new exhibits for them, because one of the things that I do is I like teaching students how to like solder and wire, like build physical devices and things like that. In my 4th semester computer science class, we'll do things like build sentry guns, where like you build like a Nerf gun that like rotates left and right in real life, you know, mind you. It rotates left and right with an ultrasound sensor, and if something comes within range that it's aiming at, the Nerf gun will start shooting at it, things like that. Some students integrated image detection so that it would only shoot at me. And so if a student walked in the door, it wouldn't shoot at them, but if I walked in, it would start pelting me with ping pong balls or Nerf darts and things like that. So I was thinking about doing something like that for Storyland, where they could have more interactive exhibits. Like you walk in, and the caterpillar from Alice in Wonderland starts telling you a story and stuff like that. But they're closed right now, and I'm closed as well. I can't teach people to solder over video, you know. So not this year, but what we can do is this. And so what you guys are going to do for this assignment is you are going to make a storybook, and it's going to be like this. You're just going to make something that you hit play, and there's going to be pictures of things on the screen. They're going to move around, talk, maybe have some sounds if you want. But basically, you're going to create like a little animation, okay? Going to create a little 1-minute long animation. Nothing serious. That's it, okay? So it doesn't have to, you don't have to do any of the, you know, interactive things like the keys and things like that. But you are going to have at least 3 characters on the screen. You're going to have 2 backdrops. So let's go into how to do that. So let's kill Scratch there. And so down in the bottom right corner of the screen, you can see there's an area for creating a backdrop, and there's an area for choosing a sprite. Okay, so you're going to have at least 2 backdrops. So you can upload one surprise. Oh, that's interesting. Surprise backdrop. Huh, look at that. Yeah. Okay. And you can paint your own backdrop. Yeah, if you're artistically inclined, try to make it look, you know, at least somewhat decent. And let's see here. You can click on it and pick a backdrop. Like if you're going to make a fairy tale, you can kind of make anything you want. It's your goal is to make a storybook suitable for a 3rd grader. And my daughter, who's in 3rd grade, will judge your submissions. And so, you know, keep that in mind when you're developing it. And there we go. Got a nice little castle backdrop there. And let's see. And then we can add some sprites. So there's all sorts of different creatures that you can put into the world. There's a lot of them, a lot of different creatures you can put into the world. So, you know, if you want to do Frozen, you can have, I don't know, what's the name of the reindeer in Frozen? Olaf? Sin? No. What's the name of the reindeer? Time to bust out Photoshop. I was about to start up Illustrator. You could if you like. Or you can just, you know, paint something if you want. If you're artistically inclined. Trash. Okay. And so, Sven? Sven? Okay. Is it? No. Let's see. Fantasy. People. Princess. There you go. So there's Elsa, there's the reindeer, and let's see if we can find a snowman maybe. Yeah, good. Alright, so there we go. So we can have Olaf, we can have Sven, and we can have Elsa. There. Oops. snap it to here. So. Okay. So. Let's do that. Okay. So. When you want to make it so that when it hits play, it will do a dialogue. These people have to move around and stuff like that. So, so how do you do that? So each one of these guys has its own program, right? So if let's see here, events. So let's start with here. When the green flag is clicked, that's so for your storybook. All that should happen is somebody hits run, and it just plays the story. Okay. You don't have to have any key press events, clicking, any of that stuff. Just hit play and then let the thing run. Okay. So when green is clicked, motion. Go to this location, so we can go to 0, 0. Boop. Okay, and then we can say glide 1 second to glide 1 second to 100, 0, and point in direction, let's see, -90. Bloop. Let's see. So when we run it, oh, she's been done. Let's see here. Okay, so she moves this way, and then she will. Whoever that is. Okay, so she will then, I don't know. Say, oh my gosh, a talking snowman. 2 seconds. Okay. And let's see if she has different costumes. Yeah. And then she animates a little bit by doing next costume. So usually when you launch it, you want it to reset the. You want to reset their position and reset their costume. There we go. Oh my gosh, a talking snowman. She animates. You can switch backdrops. Let's see. Like that. Yep, so there's commands to switch the backdrops. There are commands to switch costumes. There's commands to move, to talk. You can play sounds if you'd like. So you can hide and show the various actors as well. Now, you might be like, all right, how do I have her do something, then have the snowman say something? Is this your first Scratch assignment? Yes. And so all of the time to write a novel. Yeah, you're making a small animated photo. That's correct. Yeah. So create a little like Aesop's Fable kind of thing, or like a little story. Again, this doesn't have to be very long. It's just like a minute, you know. And a minute will actually seem like a lot. So, you know, if it's not a minute, then, you know, don't stress too much over it. But it needs to, you know, be more than just like this, right? Like this is just kind of, you know, the idea. Okay, so when we start off, let's see here. So when we start off, we will start off on Castle 3, and then she says something, and then she puts her hands together, and the scenery changes, and now the snowman wants to say something. Okay, so if you notice, there's no option here to have the snowman say something. If I say something, it's always going to be on Elsa here. You have to, if you want the snowman to say something, you have to click on the snowman. Now, here's the problem. If you have the snowman, click under events, drag out here, under looks, and if you have him say, "Don't be afraid, you are my mother, you made me," right? See, it says it immediately when you hit click, right? And they're going to be out of sync with each other. So there's a couple different ways you can do this. One way you can do it, which I don't exactly recommend, is to you can just put a weight in there. So if you put a weight in there and put like a 3 there, then 1, 2, 3, the talking snowman, and then you see that? So you just kind of add up how long the other person is acting, and then you have it say something. Or if you want to be super cool, awesome sauce, there is a more sophisticated way of doing this. So if I go back to Elsa, I can have her broadcast a message, broadcast message 1, sure. And then under Olaf here, we're going to call this guy Olaf, of course. This is on YouTube, don't sue me, Disney. Okay, this is fair use. Also, and the reindeer is called Sven, is that right? So what you can do is when you finish one character's animation, you can broadcast a message and then have the other guy receive the message and begin its animation then, if you like. So rather than doing this where you have to like put a pause in left and right, what you can do is say, when I receive message 1, okay? So she moves, she says a talking snowman, she does that, and then at the end of her program, it broadcasts message 1, and you can create new messages so that you can synchronize these things as many times as you need to. And then Olaf, when he receives message 1, he says, "Don't be afraid, you're my mother, you made me," and then you could have him broadcast message 2, Sven, activate. And then under Sven here, we can have Sven say, when I receive Sven, activate. You can have him, I don't know, move. Glide to Elsa. And have him say, "There are wolves. Quick, get on board." So she moves, she says something, she sends a message, that causes him to activate, then he sends a message, and then that causes the reindeer to activate, Do you guys see that? So you can have lots and lots of different messages like that, so you can coordinate the animation across different actors. Okay. And you don't have to use a lot of these things, like wait. You might use, like, if you want to animate something, like I could have the reindeer wait and then wait a second, or wait 2 seconds. Then I can have him move. Then I can have him move backwards by 30 and have him think to himself, weird, she's not afraid. Does she have magic powers? Oh, and then he moves back. You understand? And so when at program launch, I should probably set his position so that he resets. So he should go to negative 190 maybe. So when you launch the thing, it should probably reset everybody's position. Okay. If you want to go back to Elsa, do you create a new starting point? Yeah. So like after the reindeer says, weird, she's not afraid. Does she have magic powers? Now I can have Elsa like blast some wolves, or I can have, or even better, I can show some wolves on the screen, and then I'll switch over to her. So let's add a new sprite for a wolf. They don't have wolves. It's too scary for young kids. All right. Let's search for a cartoon wolf. There. Okay. So there's a wolf. Save it. Desktop. And then we can upload a sprite. Hello. Let's see if this works. There we go. All right, so now we got Zeke Wolf here, and so we can put him over here, and he's a little bit big. We start off with him hidden. Okay. And we will call this guy Fenris Wolf. And so if do you see right here how there's a button to show or hide him? Okay. So I'm going to start off with him hidden. And so for Fenris Wolf, I've got him clicked. When the green flag is clicked, then he will hide. So at launch, it hides him. And then when I receive the event named Wolf Activate, then I will show myself. Okay, so going back to Sven, they're wolves. Quick, get on board. So here I can insert broadcast message. Wolf Activate. Do you see how this kind of works? So she moves here, is talking snowman. Don't be afraid, you're my mother, you made me. Then he runs over here. They're wolves, quick, get on board. Okay. So, weird, she's not afraid. Does she have magic powers? And then I would probably want to position this guy. Sure, I'll grab that. So what location is this? 286, -3. Okay, sure. So move to 286, -3. Yeah. Okay. So at launch, you always want it to usually reset the positions and things like that. Okay. And then maybe after that, I have him send a message to Elsa, and then Elsa will blast the wolf. So to do that, I will create a new event, and I will broadcast new message. Elsa blast time. The message names don't appear in the animation, so you can call them whatever you want. Elsa blast time, and then I will come back over to Elsa. And when she receives Elsa blast time, then she will play a sound, maybe. And pew, pew, pew. Okay. You guys understand? And then I can also probably have her. I could have her switch her costume. Okay. Next Monday, February 15th, is when the scratch assignment's due. Yeah. Okay. So, if you want to go back to Elsa to create a new story. Yeah, so basically, the key thing about Scratch that's a little bit different from normal programming languages is that there's actually 4 different programs all running at the same time. Right? So you got Fenris Wolf's program, you got Olaf's program, you got Elsa's program. And so it's actually 4 different programs that all kind of share the same scene and backdrop. Okay? So rather than, like if you've ever done C++ programming before, there's main and main begins the program and things like that. All 4 of these programs can be running at the same time. And so all of them will run when the green flag is clicked. And so you can have all of them animating at the same time, for example. Just guitar. Punitive, like you saw what I was doing here. The technical challenge is just kind of coordinating all the different elements, and the key takeaway point here is this receive and broadcast thing. Okay, so when you're done with one character animating, broadcast a message, and then all the other actors in the scene can receive that message, and then you, like, Sven activates, then he activates Elsa, and Elsa goes pew pew pew, and then when Elsa does pew pew pew, then I can have her broadcast Olaf, run like a coward. And then Olaf, when he receives Olaf, run like a coward, he will move glide to -200, 0. Right, so yeah, so make your own story if you'd like. You can stick to a story, a famous story if you'd like, but you don't have to use copyrighted characters like I am. Trust me. Just make it suitable for a 3rd grader, because then Olaf runs away. You see that? Okay. And you can actually have multiple. You can actually have multiple people receive the same event. So if you want both Sven and Olaf to animate at the same time, then I could have Sven also grab the event for when I receive Olaf run like a coward, and I can also have him glide to -200, 0. Can we use all the codes on the left or just specific ones? Knock yourself out. Do whatever you want. So watch. When she goes pew pew pew, she's going to broadcast Olaf run like a coward, and then oh shoot, I forgot to reset his position. But basically, both Olaf and Sven can activate at the same time, because these are really 4 programs running in parallel with each other. So let's see. Olaf needs to reset his position to -65, 106. Yeah, you can use everything in here. So feel free. You can just scroll around and just look at what kinds of options are there for changing colors and doing animations and changing backdrops. And you see how both of the people moved at the same time, like that. So when she broadcast, let's go to Elsa. So when she broadcast Olaf run like a coward, both Sven receives Olaf run like a coward, and Olaf also receives run like a coward. And so both of them moved at the same time to the same spot. Okay. And then Fenris Wolf, when he could get Olaf run like a coward, and then he could go be like, oh. And then he could die. So just have some fun with it. This shouldn't take more than an hour, honestly. It has to be a minute. I don't know. Let's time how long my thing is right now. 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000, 7, 1,000, 8, 1,000, 9, 1,000, 10, 1,000, 11, 1,000, 12, 14, 15, 16. So it's about 18 seconds right now. So 3 more of these and you're done. Okay. So like I said, my daughter is going to be evaluating these. We're going to sit down. We're going to play all of your animations, and you'll get extra credit if my daughter thumbs up it. So my daughter has been a guest judge for computer science classes since she was about 3 years old, I guess. I used to pull her out of preschool and then take her into my classes. And in my CSI 40 classes, we do like a Photoshop filter assignment where students have to write a program that will do a Photoshop filter, like modify a photograph or an image somehow. And then she would thumbs up it and thumbs down it. And we'd have other guest judges as well, but she's been used to getting pulled out of school twice a year to come into college and rate students' artworks and things like that. And so students started pandering to her, like using like My Little Pony artwork and stuff like that, because they're like, all right, I know there's going to be a 5-year-old judging me, so they would do like all these really cutesy things, and she's like, so just try to do a good job. Nothing salacious or scandalous, you know. There is going to be a 8-year-old grading your work. Well, not grading it, but she will be issuing extra credit points. So just keep that in mind. And if you guys are worried about your grade, well, here's a chance to get some extra credit. So maybe 110%, 120% should pull up your grades if you're missing any attendance and things like that. So there are lots of things here in Scratch. In general, though, you should not need to use any of these things, like the while, left arrows pressed, that kinds of things, because I'm not going to be doing anything interactive. All I'm going to do to evaluate your things, I'm going to hit play, and then I'm going to sit back. My daughter and I are going to watch it. Okay, so we're gonna just have a movie night basically with all of your short 1 minute movies. Okay. So don't make any keystrokes, anything that requires interaction, that kind of stuff. Okay. All right. So yeah, no when the sprite is clicked, because I'm not going to be clicking on anything. I'm not going to be hitting any keys for this. Just green arrow, green flag. That's it. Control wait. You might use that. That's waiting is pretty common in animations. Repeating is also something you might want to use. So when she goes pew pew pew, rather than switching costumes once, she might go like, pull that out. Go to looks, go to next costume. Let's try this. So 10 times it's gonna play a sound and switch your costumes. Sorry, too many times, but let's see. Rather than play sound until done, let's just do five repeats, and then we will just start the sound. Start the sound doesn't pause until it finishes. Yeah, magic spell sound. Okay. You can have things when backdrop switches. Yeah. If then, you might need if then, probably not. You can wait until a variable gets set. Sensing, get key input. No, you don't do that, because again, this is just a movie. Days since 2000. Adding things, subtracting things. You probably won't need any of these for this one. If you want to play with it, go for it. Sure. If you want to set variables and do if statements and things like that, knock yourself out. All of it's on the table. I don't think you should need any of that. But yeah, just that's just when green is clicked on all of the guys, they should basically just reset their positions, right? When it's clicked, set its position, hide. When green clicks, set its position, hide. Elsa will reset her position and then start the animation. When she finishes her animation, she broadcasts something, and then other people will pick up that broadcast, do something, then broadcast something, and then Sven will pick up that broadcast and do something, and broadcast something, and then Elsa will pick it up, and you understand? So that's how you can. That's the general gist of the technical challenge this time, is that you've got a minimum of 3 different actors. You've got a minimum of 3 different actors, and you need to have them, take turns saying things. Basically, that's your technical challenge here for this week. This will be due next Monday, and next Monday we'll go through some of them, I guess, and show them off to the class. So do good work on it, and yeah. So that's Scratch. There's different backdrops. There's different characters. You can like for Fenris Wolf, you can, like you saw, I just went on to DuckDuckGo and downloaded a transparent a GIF with a transparent background. That's why you can see through. See how it's transparent like that? So that usually is a good good thing for animations. If it has a opaque background, it'll be a giant white square floating around, right? So full screen. Any questions? And then you should be able to give it a good name, Elsa and the Wolf. And you should be able to share it to Studio Storybook. Okay. So when you're done with it, there's a share button, and instructions, just hit play. Okay. And then you're going to want to add to Studio and add it to the Storybook Studio. Okay. And then everything should work. If you don't share it, then I can't grade it. And every year there's students that forget to share it, so don't forget to share it. It's like if I can't see your work, then I can't grade it. Okay, so once again, what you do is you go to share. You go to share and then add it to Studio. And if you've linked me as your instructor, then it should appear for you. I can't verify this because I don't have a student view, but so if somebody could do this like real fast and just try sharing their thing to the Studio, just verify that that'll work. So you go from your project, hit share, and then click here, add to Studio. Okay, and then you should be able to add it to Storybook, and then yeah, if a couple of you guys can try that. 35 alerts. And then I should be able to go into the studios, delete all these stupid nonsense. And then I should be able to go into Studio View and view all of your work. Okay? If you don't share it, I can't grade it. And you'll get a 0, and then you'll be like, but I did the work. And then I'll write back, but did you share it? And you'll write back, oh no, I didn't share it. And I'm like, well, that's why you got a 0. And you're like, but can I share it now? I'm like, sure, go for it. And then that will drag on for about a week, just based on past experience. So, yeah. That's how you submit your assignment. Okay. Before, I used to have people submit it on Canvas, and they would submit it, but wouldn't make it publicly visible. And then there's just always this, allow anyone to add projects, maybe. You have to do that. Yeah, I know. It's like just dealing with that stuff was the biggest pain of it. Activity. Managers, curators, comments, projects. Okay. And so when it gets submitted, it should all appear here, and so I'll be able to see all of your stuff. Make sure your usernames match. Like I need to be able to figure out who you are from your username here, and if I can't, then just put in the comment like right here, notes and credits, by Anthony, who are, something like that, right? Like a made by, yeah. If you have to. Hopefully your username is enough for me to figure out who you are, but under credits, just, put who you are. The Scratch people themselves don't like people using their real names. And so, your username might not be your identifiable. So in that case, just put in the notes section here. And hopefully they won't get super angry that college students are using their real names. Because Scratch is for kids, so they don't want kids using their real names. But you need to let me know one way or another that you did it, so you can get credits for it. Okay. Like a made by, yeah. Made by Ruben. Right. You understand? and then you will get your sweet points. Okay. So that's basically it for today. You're gonna create a new project, do an animation. It shouldn't take more than an hour. Like, I mean, just here in class with me just kind of clicking around, like I already made 18 seconds, you know. So, you know, it shouldn't, you know, just sit down, storyboard it, you know, come up with a good plot, you know, do some Hollywood screenwriting, you know. I don't know. And after you make it, you're gonna hit share, and then you're gonna add to Studio Storybook. Okay, so that's the most important thing, is actually sharing your work when you're done. So, my projects, Untitled 2. Can I delete it? Share and delete. Delete. Look. I'll try and take 10 make 10 in 1 minute. Make Inception. Elsa falls asleep, and then you go within Elsa's dream to go inside her dream to go inside her dream. All right. Yeah, that's it for today, guys. So Scratch is pretty easy programming language to work in, and our next one we'll do things with like interactivity and stuff like that. But this is just to kind of get your creative juices flowing. Like, one thing that I'm really like kind of big on is that a lot of people think computer science is just very logical and mathematical and formal and stuff like that. And to me, computer science is actually a lot of creativity. There's a lot of creativity involved in computer science, and that aspect of it doesn't get a lot of attention from the media or in the popular perception. But like when you're creating something and you're designing stuff, like all your creative juices start flowing. You know, like when I used to make video games like professionally, like you can kind of do whatever. It's like, all right, well, I need to come up with an alternate fire. I've got these 4 different mechas that people can play as, and I've got a trigger button, and I got this thumb button that, you know, that I can use. What should I have to do? You know, like heat-seeking missiles, laser beams, nuclear weapons. Like what should the thing do? You know, and then you're like, all right, let's make it be a laser beam. All right, well, how do I do a laser beam? Like, how do I, you know, in code, draw a line from point A to point B and have it figure out what it hits and do damage to it and stuff like that? Like, how do you do that? You know, and so there's a creative aspect and there's a technical aspect, and the two of them go together, right? Like your imagination can sometimes come up with things you have no idea how to program. And then sometimes your imagination is just super boring and you come up with things that are easy to program, but it hurts the design of the game as a result of that. So ideally you want to develop your creative side and your technical side hand in hand so you can do super awesome, cool stuff and actually implement it. Computer science is an art form. The story can be about anything, yeah. It can be about anything. Just remember that a third grader is going to be watching it. Computer science is art, yeah. I mean, that's, you know, like I said, in CSI 40 I do image like a Photoshop filter with my students every year, and you're graded on your creative, you know, aspects, like how cool is your Photoshop filter, you know. In my projects class, you know, two of the projects out of the 8 are awarded a special award, which is worth lots of extra credit for, you know, design and creativity and stuff like that. And we do 4 or 5 projects a year or a semester, and it's actually something that matters to me a lot is creativity and art, things like that. Like art and computer science go together like more than people kind of realize. A lot of artists, you know, I think if they had more technical skills, could do more kinds of art, like interactive art, stuff like that. Like on my college campus, they had this bicycle wheel, and you'd walk up to this bicycle wheel, and the thing had a motion sensor. And when you'd walk up to it, it'd start turning. and then it had a little poem. And I was like, oh, my students could do that. And so I asked the art department, like, hey, could we get some exhibit space? And they're like, sure, we'd love to. And so they set out some plinths for us, like little columns, you know. And my students made art and they put it out there, and it was interactive art. Like you can come up and like touch it. Like there's a stuffed animal and you can touch it and it would like sense that it was being touched and it would display a message. And another one had a pirate ship, and when you walked up to it, these gun ports would raise up and it'd start firing at you. It just played sounds, and a fan would turn on, so wind would billow in the sails and it would pretend to shoot at you and stuff like that. Like it was pretty cool stuff, you know. One said, do you want pleasure or pain? You'd stick your finger into a hole and it's like, do you want pleasure or pain? If you say pain, then it shocks you. It doesn't really shock you. It like has a vibrator, kind of like a vibrating metal surface. And then if you say, and it takes a picture of your face right when it does that. Then if you say pleasure, then it shows you the face of the last person that it shocked. So if you say pain, then you're wild. Yeah, more than just math and programming and stuff like that. There's a whole creative side as well.